For as long as we've been human, we've been wrestling with this one massive question. What is God? This quest has literally shaped entire civilizations, it's inspired incredible art, and it's sparked endless debate. So let's dive into this age-old search for the divine.
Okay, let's just start with you, right now. If I asked you to picture God, what pops into your head? Is it, the classic old man with a long white beard? Or maybe a brilliant, powerful light? Or something else entirely? That very question, in all its forms, is exactly what we're going to dig into.
So, when you look back through history, the first big fork in the road on this quest really comes down to a super simple question of numbers. Is it one God or many? This single choice is the foundation for pretty much every belief system we see around the world.
Right, so on one path, you've got monotheism. That's the belief in one single all-powerful creator. And on the other path, you've got polytheism, which imagines this whole pantheon of different gods and goddesses, right? Each one is in charge of a different part of life or nature. And wow, these two paths, they lead to completely different ways of seeing the universe and figuring out where we fit into it all.
And you can see this play out in real time in some of the world's biggest religions. The Abrahamic faiths, we're talking Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they're all fundamentally monotheistic. But then you look at, say, the ancient Greeks and Romans, or faiths like Hinduism and Shinto, and you see polytheism in action.
Okay, so belief is one thing, but for centuries, just believing wasn't enough. People wanted to prove it. We wanted to use our own minds to find proof. And that's where things get really interesting, because this is where faith and philosophy collide.
Think about the challenge here. It was huge. Could you, using nothing but pure logic and reason, no holy books allowed, actually prove that a divine being has to exist? This became this central puzzle that thinkers obsessed over for centuries.
So let's look at two of the most classic attempts, okay? First up is the argument from design. The idea here is look around you. Look at something incredibly complex, like the human eye or the perfect orbits of the planets. It just feels designed, right? Like there has to be an intelligent designer behind it. Then there's the first cause argument. This one says, hey, everything that happens has a cause. So if you trace that chain of cause and effect all the way back, there must have been a first thing, an uncaused first cause that kicked the whole show off.
But, and this is a big but, these arguments are nowhere near settled. Take a look at this counterpoint. It flips the whole debate on its head. It says the premise isn't everything has a cause, it's that everything that begins has a cause. So if you define God as something that never had a beginning, well then the whole idea of a cause just doesn't apply. It really shows you these aren't settled facts, but a living, breathing philosophical debate that's still going on.
Okay, so let's shift gears. We're going to move away from that abstract, philosophical logic to something way more personal. There's this idea in a lot of traditions that humans are made in the image of God. But what on earth does that actually mean, especially when you throw modern science into the mix?
For thousands of years, that one phrase has been at the very center of how we understand ourselves. Does it mean we physically look like God? Or is it hinting at something much deeper, something that isn't physical at all?
Well, there's been a really big shift in modern theology, moving away from the whole physical appearance thing. This quote really gets to the heart of it. It suggests that being made in God's image, what's called the imago Dei, isn't about our bodies at all. It's about our incredible capacity for relationships, for connection, for community, with each other and with the divine itself.
And then neuroscience walks into the room, and it changes the conversation completely. The scientific view is pretty clear. Our minds and our brains are totally intertwined. You can't separate them. And that's a huge challenge to the old idea of a separate soul floating around somewhere. It suggests that everything we experience, our thoughts, our feelings, even our most profound spiritual moments, it's all happening right there in the physical wiring of our brains.
So you've got this wild mix of philosophy, theology, and science all swirling around. And this stuff doesn't just stay locked up in dusty books. No way. It explodes out into our culture. Because think about it. If our whole experience of life is physical, happening in our bodies, it's only natural that we'd try to give a body, an image, to God. And this quote nails the huge puzzle that artists have been dealing with for centuries. If God is supposed to be invisible, without a body, how in the world are you supposed to paint that or sculpt it? It seems impossible. And yet, they did. And in doing so, they created this incredibly powerful visual history.
But here's the thing about that visual history. It created its own powerful default image.
And as the feminist theologian Elizabeth Green points out here, that image became overwhelmingly male. The result of that? For countless people, the mental picture of God and the picture of a man just got fused together, and that has shaped everything for generations.
This is where cinema just charges in and takes on the challenge head-on. Just look at these examples from different movies. Filmmakers have been radically reimagining God. Forget the old patriarch in the sky. Here, God is an independent chocolatier, an elegant hairdresser, a warm African-American woman who bakes bread, even a witty, clownish girl. Every single one of them just smashes our old preconceptions. And all of this brings us right up to today. Because this quest to picture God, it hasn't stopped for a second. It's just moved. It's migrated to the most powerful canvas we have in the 21st century, our digital screens. Seriously, think about it. Netflix, YouTube, you name it. For millions and millions of people, these streaming platforms are now the main place they encounter these big religious stories. And that's creating entirely new kinds of global communities, new shared spiritual experiences that would have been totally unimaginable just a few years ago.
I mean, this just gives you a taste of the sheer scale and variety of what's happening. You've got The Chosen, right? A crowdfunded series about Jesus that has built this massive global following of what they call digital disciples. Then you've got a Turkish show like Ertugrul, which has shown millions of people around the world a more human side of Islamic history. And it's not just serious drama. You have movies like OMG, Oh My God from India, which uses comedy and satire to ask tough questions about how faith is commercialized. It's sparking real debate.
So for centuries, the image of God was in the hands of theologians, philosophers, and artists. But today, it's being shaped by showrunners, by directors, by online fan communities. Our screens, they've become the new stained glass windows for the entire world. So the final question isn't just about what that next image of God will look like. It's about who exactly gets to create it.